face what you think your flesh is best for you will cause you destruction every time. It will. It absolutely will. And there's evidence of it. You want to go look at someone that's miserable, that's followed that path, go meet my sister-in-law. It's clear as clear can be. You can't miss it. She's having a hard time. She's in a bad way. And I wish she could afford the internet, could see this, because she'd bring to remembrance that God told her not to do this. He knowed that man's heart, and he knowed that he would go back to doing what he used to do. He'd end up in bad shape. When we going to learn on these things? When we going to learn that God knows everything and He's got it all figured out. Now this is long. I'm going to read to you to close with. It's about the prodigal son. But I got something I really want to show you in it. It's in Luke chapter 15. But it's the story of the prodigal son, and we've read it, but it's not so much that I want to bring out what you probably think I'm going to bring out about it. But you know God wants to help us. Luke 15 verse 11. It's really kind of long, and I'm going to close with this. Luke chapter 15 verse 11, and the word says this: the parable of the lost son is what it's called. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto him his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with the riotous people. And when he had spent all, that arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of the country, and he sent him unto the fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's house have bread enough to spare, and I perish with hunger. I will arise and go to my father, and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no longer worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, and had compassion, and run and fell on his neck and kissed him. And his son and like son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet. And bring hither the fatted calf, and kill it, and let us eat, and be merry. For this my son was dead, and is alive again. He was lost, and is found. And they began to be merry. Now the elder son was in the field. And as he came and drew nigh to the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said unto him, thy brother is come, and thy father hath killed the fatted calf, because he hath received him safe and sound. And he was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. And he answered and said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee, neither transgressed I at any time thy commandments. And yet thou never gavest me a kid, that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as thy son was come, which hath devoured thy living and with harlots, thou hast killed for him the fatted calf. And he said unto him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meant that we should make merry and be glad. For this thy brother was dead, and is alive again, and was lost, and is found. Let me tell you something, what I think the Lord's trying to tell us. We're just like those sons. Our Father loves us greatly. And no matter what choices we make in life, and no matter where we go, He'll welcome us in. It says His angels will rejoice over us. He'd bring the fatted calf if He had to. He'd put a ring on her finger, the best robe. He'd do whatever He had to do. He'd do all the things. But the key here, both sons was really mad in the matter of one. At the beginning, the first son was wrong, in that he wanted to take his goods and sell them. The second thing, the second son was wrong, that he couldn't see that God blessed and brought his son back. And the father, probably worried every night before he went to bed. He probably had concern about him every night, worried about him, said, what's going to happen to him? What's he going to do? Is he going to end up dead somewhere? Is he going to take this money and get robbed and get killed? What's going to happen to him? What things is going to go on in his life, and how's it going to destroy him? How's these things going to destroy him in everything that he does? But I'm excited that he's come back. I'm excited that he's grabbed hold. I'm excited of these things. Well, I'm telling you today that there's a Father called God in heaven. And He loves you and me greater than this father right here loved these two sons. And he tried to explain everything to the other one and how excited they should be that he came back. What does it matter that he went and wasted goods? What does it mean? We got him. What does it matter? We got him. We got him in everything. But whenever fiery trials and situations come, whenever problems come and confidence builds, and God trying to build confidence in our life, He loves you enough that He'll do whatever He has to do to build confidence in your life. He loves you more than these two sons, and that father loved his two sons. He loves you more than that. He'll do whatever He has to do to help you. He'll do anything He can, but He's restricted by His word just as much as anything else. He would come in right now, and if any of you are lost right now, He'd come into your heart right now and save you. Your answers that you're looking for, if He could, He'd come in right now and give them to you. And He'd say, right here's every problem that you got. Right here's what you need to fix. Right here's what you need. But you know what He wants you to do? He wants you to come and ask. He wants you to humble down and come before Him and say, God, I'm a servant and I failed you. And I was listening to Charles Stanley, and he's talking about the same thing we've been talking about. Let's build a relationship with God. Let's build a close, intimate relationship with God. And he said, you know what God's really looking for? And I think he's right. He's looking for us to come to Him and say, today, God, I had a little pride in me. I need you to help me. I messed up. I messed up there. And I really had some problems with me. I got angry at somebody today. I really did, God, and I need you to help me. An intimate relationship, not just a prayer of list that you got to, Lord, bless this son and bless this son and bless this child. And oh yeah, they just text me about Bridget and bless her and etc. Intimate relationship. He wants us to come to Him like a husband and wife. Us being the wife, He wants us to come to Him and say, Lord, I had a problem today. I did. I messed up. And our list may be pretty big where we messed up. And He wants us to sit down and talk to Him about it and say, God, I'm asking. You got to ask to receive. Seek to find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Or you got that intimate relationship that you can build with Him. That you can go ask Him and say, God, man, I messed up today. I had pride. I got angry. I got these problems and situations, and I want you to help me. I want you to help me be able to beat this and show me what I need to do to be able to overcome this. And He's going to start working on our life. And it may be a fiery trial that's got to come to help us beat that pride.